Hey guys, it's ExandShadow, and welcome back to Let's Play Banjo-Tooie. In the last part, we faced off with Mingy Jongo, Mumbo Jumbo's evil robotic duplicate? I don't know, he's just an evil robot who has a Mumbo fetish or something. And in this part, we are actually going to go talk to the real Mumbo. Now, I mentioned this last time, but whatever skull Mumbo and Mingy are in is randomized, so sometimes Mingy's in the blue skull, sometimes he's in the red skull. The only way you can tell which one is which is that Mingy will always have a real Jinjo in his skull, and Mumbo will always have a Minjo in his skull, no matter what color the skull is when you, wherever he is, you know? So, like, we're in the blue skull, which has Mumbo in it, and there's going to be a Minjo in here. But if the blue skull were Mingy's skull, there would be a normal Jinjo in there, and that's how you know you're going to the boss first or to Mumbo first. I recommend doing the boss, Mingy first, just because he's a boss fight that you don't have to do any, like, real work to find, unlike Weldar, for instance. He's a good Jiggy to get out of the way early, just so you don't forget about him later, you know? But, Mumbo, really, this is the last time we're going to be using Mumbo in the game, and he really doesn't have a whole lot to do in Cloud Cuckoo Land, which is a shame, but, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, to be perfectly honest. Seeing as Mumbo is one of the least mobile characters in the entire game. Like, he moves and jumps at a decent rate, but he can't climb on things, he can't grab onto stuff. He really can't go a whole lot of places, you know? Mumbo's mobility is basically limited to where, you know, warp pads will be able to take him, so that's sort of what makes him an interesting character for Cloud Cuckoo Land. Well, it would have made him an interesting character for Cloud Cuckoo Land if, like, trying to find Mumbo, try to find out how Mumbo got to different places was part of the challenge. But in this case, all you have to do is find Mumbo to get him to his one Mumbo pad. Now, there are, if you didn't put the beans into the holes before you started using Mumbo, then you're going to have to go back and use him again after you put the beans in the holes. So, I recommend finding the beans and putting them where they're supposed to be before even giving the Globo to Mumbo. So you can just get all of this stuff done at once, and then you'll be done with Mumbo for the rest of the, well, for the rest of the game anyway. So, here we are. Last Mumbo pad on yet another phallic-shaped platform. Ew. And his power is the rain dance. And basically all it does is it makes it rain in Cloud Cuckoo Land. This will do 3 different things. The first thing will happen no matter when you do the rain dance, before or after putting the beans in, and that's making this rainbow bridge over to the pot of gold. That'll happen the first time you do the rain dance, no matter what else you've done in the level. The second thing that it'll do is it'll grow any beans that you have put into those holes and make them into beanstalks. So if you didn't put any beans into the beanstalk, if you didn't put any of the beans into the holes, you won't get any beanstalks when you use the rain dance for the first time, and you'll have to go and put them back in the holes and then bring Mumbo back and rain dance again before they'll grow again. So yeah, just, well, kill yourself if you want to speed run, but make sure that you do put both of the beans into the holes before you start off as Mumbo, and then you'll pretty much be fine. But okay, here we are. Now that we've made the rainbow bridge appear, we can finally go into the pot of gold. I'm pretty sure that with an well enough glide, like flip-flop leg spring glide, you probably could make it as Kazooie alone without having to do the rain dance bullshit. But really, if you're planning out your route well enough, you should just be able to do this normally anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, this is another mini-game inside the pot of gold, but it works in somewhat of a different manner than the other mini-games. First off, you have to turn it on, and you do that by walking up to these different egg thingies and shooting the correct colored eggs into the hole. Like, for example, the green one, you gotta shoot a grenade egg in there. That's, I think, an ice egg, so I think an ice egg. Yeah, that needs an ice egg to go, and the last one, you just gotta shoot a normal egg. There's no Clockwork Kazooie eggs, so I guess they just sort of feel left out or something, I don't know. They're probably just sitting in their corner, eating some comfort food and crying to themselves. That's kind of sad when you think about it. Anyway, the pot of gold, minigame does actually function somewhat differently than most of the other minigames in the game. It's not a red, blue, green minigame where, you know, 3 points, 2 points, 1 points. In this case, it's just 1 point per Jiggy egg thing, well, Jiggy sign here. Basically, what you gotta do is you gotta try to shoot as many of these Jiggy lights as possible, and if you get all of them, you get, well, if you don't have to get all of them in order to get the Jiggy, but you gotta get most of them in order to get the Jiggy. Although I have indeed gotten all of them before, though I don't think I do in this specific playthrough. You get both a Cheeto page and a Jiggy from this mission, so it's one of those 2-for-1 sort of deals, like the Saucer of Peril back in Witchy World. So this is a good minigame to do, just because on top of being pretty easy and relatively straightforward, you know, it's fun, and it's you know, it's not too much of a hassle. Aw, damn it! I almost got all 100. Fuck. Well, I don't want to be that guy who blames the controller, but the N64 controllers do sort of become less precise with age, so I have indeed gotten all 100 before. So, yeah, that's just sort of bragging rights, though, getting all 100. But yeah, once you do that, you're basically done with the pot of gold. You don't ever have to come back here again. Oh, and I lied. There is one more Cheeto egg. Honeycomb, empty honeycomb piece to get in this level. I am a big fat liar. Yeah. So yeah, we're almost about halfway done with all the stuff we can do in Cloud Cuckoo Land. We've got 4 out of 10 Jiggies after all. Oh, here we are. Now we have all 9 empty honeycombs. So if you wanted to take a quick detour back to Honeybee's hive and get that last health bar piece, I wouldn't blame you, to be honest. But I'm not going to be going for that. And did I just pass through a solid rainbow? Whatever. So yeah, you can go back in there anytime you want, but I don't know why you would really want to, because well, you know, it's just another mini game. You can actually play those from the start menu. So yeah, I don't know what your deal is there, man. Don't know what's your deal. So yeah, I'm being very careful to make my way across those jumps. Now that we've got the beanstalk grown, we have to backtrack with Banjo across the same stuff we did to put the bean in there to begin with, and then we can finally continue with this Mr. Fit tomfoolery. You know, we can finally just get on with this stupid thing. Mr. Fit is one of the more obnoxious missions in the game, because on top of just being three different events, you know, it takes a while to get to each one and stuff, so, Also, you need to have the Sack Pack or Shack Pack or whatever the fuck it's called, Z plus up C as solo banjo, that ability, before you can even start this race, so, yeah, just keep that in mind. But there's really only one way that you can win this race, and just like the first event, it's by cheating. Yes, we all love cheating, don't we? Anyway, what you gotta do is you gotta use the Sack Pack to go across this little shortcut over here. Although it is trickier to go across than you might think, because it is actually a really narrow part of the path. But you do that, and then you'll be able to win really, really, really easily, because we are cheater pumpkin eaters. Yeah, no Game Shark required, bitches. Woo. And with that, that's Act 2 of the Mr. Fit challenge done and over with. Really, it's more getting to him that's more annoying than actually doing this mission, so, Mr. Fit's third, event is right next to where you got the, whatever it's called. It's right next to the, Rain Dance Mumbo Pad, where that was, so you don't have to worry about finding that one. That one's actually really easy to get to, so don't worry too much about that. Anyway, on the other side of the mountain, we're actually going to be doing the other event that required a beanstalk. And actually, now that I think about it, I've never noticed this before, but you put both beans into something on the Mumbo side, like the side with the Mumbo pad, if that makes any sense. Like, oh, and I don't actually think we're doing the thing that required the beanstalk just yet, but I do think we're doing another ability that requires solo banjo. Yes, we are, the Jelly Castle. You have to be solo banjo, or I think you might be able to do this with a Clockwork Kazooie egg. I am not entirely sure on that front. But with either of those two things, you just go into your small mode, or you shoot a Clockwork Kazooie egg in there, and then you can just grab the Jiggy. Another relatively easy one. So, that's nice. Although I think your movement is limited in there because it's a jelly castle, so you might not be able to do a Clockwork Kazooie egg in there. Again, that's something that I need to test out for myself because I'm not entirely sure if you can do it that way or not. But anyway, you could do that as early as when you try to put the bean into the beanstalk, the bean into the beanstalk hole at the first place. But you can also get it now when you're just trying to go for what you actually get when you open up the beanstalk. So, now we're actually going over there. As I was going to say before, each bean hole is on the side where the Mumbo skulls are. So if that'll give you a good idea as to how to get to them if you're still kind of confused about the layout to Cloud Cuckoo Land. It's just you get Banjo there by going to Mumbo's skull, and you get Kazooie there by going to an area slightly higher to Mumbo's skull. So if that makes sense, then good for you. You can understand my random babbling. Floating across the sky, very slowly, move the fuck up, man. Jesus Christ, why are you taking forever? Okay, there we go. So, yeah, now that we've grown the beanstalk, insert a joke about somebody named Jack here. We can go into a hunk of cheese. Okay, then. That's bizarre. So anyway, the cheese wedge is actually one of the more difficult, well, I don't want to say difficult, but definitely one of the more annoying parts of the game, because it requires some precision platforming using the sack pack, which is, I'm pretty sure its original name, but it requires some precision platforming using the sack pack, which is obnoxious, because the sack pack moves kind of like the TNT plunger back in Glitter Gulch Mine. It bounces instead of walks, making it harder to control, and especially harder to precision platform than just using Banjo normally. However, you have to be the sack pack because, well, there's spikes here, and our backpack is impervious to all spikes. You know, maybe I should get Mega Man one of these for his birthday. But anyway, this first section is actually timed, so... Well, not necessarily timed, but it's timed by our timer. And now, since I have the honeyback cheat, I think I'm basically invincible for this part. Yeah, you know, thinking about it, you know, the honeyback cheat basically just refills my health after a second or two. And once you run out of air bubbles here, your health starts to go down in the rate that you would lose an air bubble, you know? That's just how it's always worked. But with the honeyback cheat, or the honey king cheat if you're a big fat cheater, with the honeyback cheat, you're basically you'd basically be gaining more health over and over and over again, so you basically never run out of air. Of course, though, I'm so perfect that I'd never really even have to deal with that problem, you know. But, you know, that's just me. Anyway, once you go through this little passageway, you're going to get the Jiggy for beating the level. So, although it's a little bit annoying, you basically do have unlimited tries to get it, so it's not really that bad of a mission. But, yeah, you just deal with the stupid, stinky, disgusting, moldy, gross cheese wedge, and then you get yourself a Jiggy. Anyway, next time we're going to be exploring more Cloud Cuckoo Land. I'm ExandShadow, and I'll see you guys later.